What if the thing you're afraid of can't be escaped? What if the darkness you run from isn't around you, but within you? We all face it. Moments of doubt, of fear, of stillness so deep, it feels like falling. And in those moments, we look for something to light the way. But what if the flame we're searching for was never outside of us? The monastery was quiet after sundown. Shadows pooled between the stone walls. The wind moved like whispers across the tiled roofs. A young novice stood at the edge of the courtyard, trembling. He had been sent to retrieve something from the opposite side. A simple task, except that the night had already fallen. He stared into the dark, heart pounding. The path ahead, familiar by day, now looked like a void. He hesitated, sensing his fear. The old monk approached from behind, silent but not unkind. The novice turned, embarrassed. I don't like the dark, he admitted. The monk said nothing. He simply handed the boy a lantern. The novice exhaled in relief until he realized something. The lantern was unlit. But it gives no light, he said, confused and afraid. The old monk placed a hand gently on his shoulder. The light you need, he said, is already inside you. The lantern is only a reminder. The novice blinked. But I can't see. You will, but not with your eyes. And with that, the monk walked away. Alone again, the boy stood frozen for a while. Then slowly, he stepped forward. 1 foot, then the next. He couldn't see more than shadows. But he listened. He breathed. He trusted. The sound of gravel beneath his feet, the shape of air around his skin, the quiet rhythm of his own heartbeat. And somewhere in that darkness, he stopped being afraid, not because the path had changed, but because he had. What he once saw as the enemy had become the teacher. Fear doesn't always vanish when the light appears. Sometimes we must walk through it to find the light was within us all along. The lantern the monk gave him was never meant to guide him physically. It was meant to remind him that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. We wait for external signs, for someone to light the way, for conditions to be perfect before we act. But what if your next step doesn't need to be certain? What if it only needs to be yours? So ask yourself, what darkness have you been avoiding? And what if the thing you need to face it is already burning quietly inside you, just waiting for you to notice? You don't need someone to light your path. You need to trust you can walk through the dark and carry the flame.